Imagine, what if every breath, every thought, every action you've ever taken isn't just your own? What if you're part of something far bigger, a cosmic operation that has been playing out before our eyes for millennia, hidden within our most ordinary rituals? Have you ever asked yourself, why do we repeat the same movements? Why do we say the same words that no one fully understands? Not just out of tradition. What if these ordinary actions are actually coded instructions, keys to an ancient universal system whose purpose is to repair something that was torn apart at the very beginning of time? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the deepest yet little-known concepts in mystical thought, Yichud, not just unification, an act of divine merging. Imagine that the universe, in all its magnificent complexity, is actually a fragmented whole, and each of us, through certain actions, can be the healer. According to Kabbalistic and Hasidic wisdom, Yichud isn't just a philosophical idea. It's an active, dynamic practice that literally rearranges the cosmic levels. They believe that in the beginning, there was a great division, a fracture in the very fabric of divine reality. And every prayer, every sacred act, every intention directed toward unity is a microscopic act of repair. Think about the simple words we say, the movements we make without thinking. What if behind them lies the language of the universe, a language that doesn't just express, but creates? And when we, as individuals, connect with this intention for unification, we aren't just praying. We are actively participating in the cosmic drama of restoration. Yichud teaches us that no action is small. Every choice, every thought of harmony, every effort to overcome division in our own lives mirrors this greater divine unification, not just for us, for the entire fabric of existence. Imagine the power you hold. You aren't just observers. You are participants in the greatest secret mission that has ever existed. Imagine a queen, not just from the past, but from the very beginning of time. Her name is Shekhinah, and she is the divine consort. Once, she lived in a radiant temple in absolute unity with the one we call God. But something happened, a cosmic separation, as if the very rhythm of the universe was disrupted. Imagine a rupture in the most intimate connection that could exist, the bond between divine entities. This isn't just a fairy tale. According to ancient mystics, this is a tragic reality that has caused immeasurable pain to both of them. A queen who suffers with her children, sharing their every pain, every trial. She is an exile among us, a reflection of our own search for meaning, our own sense of alienation at times. Her exile is our exile. Her pain is our echo. She is not just a metaphor for the gentle, feminine side of divinity, but a living, suffering aspect of the cosmos itself. Ancient Kabbalistic texts, like the Zohar, reveal something astonishing. We, ordinary people, possess an incredible power, the power to mend this divine rift. Every religious act, prayer, charity, even just a sincere moment of reflection, isn't just for our personal growth. It is a direct intervention in the higher realms. It is a thread that weaves a bridge between the separated. Every time you do good, you don't just improve the world around you, you contribute to the very wholeness of the Godhead. Your actions are not personal, they are cosmic. Even the most intimate connections between people, the union between husband and wife, gentle closeness, are seen as reflections of this divine need for reunion. Every time two souls connect in love, they mystically contribute to the reunion of Shekhinah with the one from whom she was separated. It's like fine threads of light that we, without realizing, send into the cosmos to restore wholeness. Think about that for a moment. Your existence is not accidental. Your life is not insignificant. You are active participants in an epic, divine love story. Imagine a world where your every action, even the most insignificant, has a resonance beyond the visible, A world where you are not alone, where shadows lurk, waiting for their moment. The ancient mystics saw this hidden reality. They called it the other side. It's not just a metaphor. These are forces, entities that yearn to interfere, to distort, to devour. And your existence is at the center of this unseen clash. Every step, every word is potentially under threat. But there is protection, an ancient key, a whisper from the dawn of time. Before every action, before every thought, you must state your intention. Clearly and unshakably, what you are doing is for a higher purpose only, excluding any dark influence. It's not a ritual, it's not superstition, it's a cosmic barrier, a shield against the unseen. Even seemingly simple human transgressions, like adultery, are more than a moral failing. In the eyes of these ancient teachings, it is a cosmic betrayal, an act that doesn't just harm human relationships, but tears the fabric of the divine connection, distorting the cosmic order. Because it is a betrayal not just against people, but against something much greater, more sacred. And just when you think you understand, the curtain lifts a little more. If there exists one single God, how then can there be another being, seemingly separate, with whom he enters into a marital relationship? The Kabbalists faced this paradox. To accept the absolute uniqueness of God, yet at the same time to speak of the disputes, longings, and relationships of the Shekhinah. It's as if they walked on the edge of an abyss, holding two opposing truths at once. How is it possible? It requires a mind-boggling ability to accept incompatible ideas. And this is where the true power is hidden. For the masses, this humanization of the divine was what made the inaccessible accessible, the mystical understandable. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to live with intention? Not just to do something, but to do it with such an all-consuming force that you shake your very being? In the heart of the 16th century, when the world was consumed by superstitions and dogmas, one man stood up to change everything. Not just a theologian, not just a scholar, but a visionary who understood the power of pure intention. Isaac Luria, a colossus of Kabbalah, whose ideas, based on ancient texts, were not just theory, but a driving force. He didn't just define Kavanah, he turned it into a bridge between man and the divine. And this wasn't just ordinary intention, it was intense, almost visceral concentration. Imagine an inner fire that burns away every distracting thought, leaving only pure, uncompromising focus. This Kavanah wasn't just in the mind, it vibrated in every fiber of the body. Imagine the pious Hasidim during the Shema Yisrael prayer. Not just words. They close their eyes, press a hand to their face, a gentle but firm grip. Their muscles tense, their bodies sway with quick, sharp movements, and then an explosion. They explosively pronounce Echad, one. This isn't just religious devotion, it's a desperate, all-encompassing effort. An effort to shake the body and soul, to bring them into perfect alignment with the divine unification. Every nerve, every cell is involved in this moment. Luria didn't just talk about this Kavanah, he gave explicit formulas. Like secret spells, they had to be said before every mitzvah, every commandment. And with these words, they openly declared their intention to bring about Yichud, the unity of God and His Shekhinah. Every action, even the most mundane, becomes a portal to the divine. Through the power of Kavanah, the ordinary person could actively participate in the cosmic restoration of the world, in the raising of the divine sparks scattered everywhere. Luria's revolution continues to echo today. Isn't this what we need in our fragmented, distracted world? Is Kavanah not the answer to the eternal human longing for meaning and connection?
What if every thought, every word you speak with intention doesn't just go up? What if it's a key that unlocks something much bigger, something that changes the very fabric of reality? What if a part of God, the very essence of the divine presence, was in exile, separated, longing for reunion? And what if your actions are the only way for that exile to end? For centuries, the most ancient mystics have kept a secret hidden in words that sound like poetry, but are actually precise formulas for unification. Yah and Ve. These aren't just syllables, these are the two halves of the sacred name, Yahweh. The male and female aspects of the Godhead itself. Their separation is a cosmic wound, and through human intention, we become surgeons who heal it. Think about that. Even the most commonly recited Jewish prayer, the 18 blessings, it isn't just a request, it's a dedication to this one ultimate goal, the restoration of unity above, the Yichud of God and Shekhinah. This is a cosmic love story, a story of separation and longing, and you are a part of it. Every sincere intention, every moment of concentration, every prayer, it isn't just a personal act. It's an active participation in a cosmic restoration.
For centuries, the concept of the Shekhinah, the earthly presence of God, was tied to the sorrow over a fallen temple. When Jerusalem fell, it was believed that God's presence had simply withdrawn, sharing the exile of his people. But then they came, the Kabbalists. Deep within the ancient texts, they discovered something far darker, a truth that would shake the spiritual world to its core. In the Zohar, their foundational text, the Shekhinah, also called the matronate, was not just a withdrawn presence. She was a bride, separated from her king, her husband, God, mourning her shattered chamber. Some of the most poignant, almost tragic words ever written in mystical literature. A divine sorrow reflected in human grief. But this was only the beginning of a story that would unfold to cosmic proportions. And then came Lurianic Kabbalah, and it rewrote everything. The exile of the Shekhinah was no longer just a consequence of a ruined temple. It was a cosmic catastrophe, traceable to the very moment of creation, to the sin of Adam. Adam's true transgression, according to Luria, wasn't just eating the forbidden fruit. It was a cosmic mistake. He focused solely on the lowest rung of the divine emanations, Malkut, identified with the Shekhinah. He failed to see the vast, interconnected wholeness of all the Sephirot. He mistook the part for the whole. And in doing so, he didn't just break a commandment, he shattered the very unity of the Godhead. Imagine that, one human action at the dawn of time, causing a cosmic schism in the divine. This was not a one-time event. This tragic phase of separation continues to be triggered again and again by the destructive and magical influence of human sin. We've already talked about Isaac Luria, the mystic who changed the Western understanding of the divine. Now I want to take you to another brilliant mind. This is Moses Cordovero, the man who managed to decipher how even the most ordinary rituals could become a key to cosmic unification. While many believe that Isaac Luria introduced the concept of Yehudim, the powerful divine unifications, Moses Cordovero, his contemporary, was the one who left us the most detailed and astonishing descriptions of exactly how they work. He saw not just rituals, but complex acts of divine engineering. Take, for example, the two daily morning rituals, putting on the talat and tefillin. For Cordovero, this isn't just a superficial performance. Before performing them, a person must recite a specific formula, because while you are putting on tefillin, you are not just performing a ritual, you are, in a mystical sense, providing brains for the female of the lesser countenance, or the Shekhinah, the divine presence, and brains for the lesser countenance, which symbolizes God himself. This is an act of facilitating intimacy. ensuring that the bridegroom, God, embraces the bride, Shekhinah, with the bonds of love connecting them. But here's the twist that makes all of this incredibly important, even dangerous. Cordovero warns, if these same straps are not done with the proper intention, they can be tied to dark forces. Yes, you heard that right, to Samael, whom many know as Satan, and Lilith. This unleashes their unholy influence. This is not just a prayer you can forget. This is high-stakes spiritual warfare. To fully understand this power, Cordovero also introduces us to the duality of the Shekhinah, a upper Shekhinah dwelling high in the spiritual world, and a lower Shekhinah who has gone into exile with the children of Israel. And yet, the teaching of the Zohar states that these two are ultimately one, connected in a profound, unified whole. Every action of ours affects this unity. But Cordovero doesn't stop there. He teaches that the actions of righteous people can actually cause the Shekhinah herself to copulate with her consort. Sounds bold, doesn't it? In his Pardes Raimonim, he explains that if a person is truly righteous, or a tzaddik, the Shekhinah pursues him, unites with him, and through his good deeds, the union of the Shekhinah with her consort is awakened. The righteous individual becomes a catalyst for divine intimacy. In his work, Tomer Devora, Cordovero paints a picture that is both astonishing and deeply personal. Imagine a man standing between two women, his physical wife and the Shekhinah. And here's the most captivating part. When a man separates from his wife for sacred reasons, such as during her menstrual period, when he is deeply immersed in Torah study, or when he is traveling and deliberately avoids sin, in these moments, the Shekhinah attaches herself to him. She copulates with him, ensuring that he is never truly abandoned. This level of mystical engagement turns every aspect of human life into a potential act of divine unity. Cordovero's teachings show us that even our smallest actions have cosmic reverberations, that we are much more than just observers in this world. We are active participants in the intertwining of the divine. We continue with ancient Kabbalistic wisdom, the concept of Yichudim, unifications. But how exactly were these unifications performed? What was their secret? One of the earliest and most influential figures to reveal this process is Eliyahu Davidas, a close friend and student of the great Moses Cordovero. In his monumental work, Sefer Reshit Chokmah, published as early as 1575, Davidas gives clear, unwavering instructions. Before every mystical act, every mitzvah, a person had to consciously state, I am doing this thing, this mitzvah, in order to unite the Shekhinah with the Holy One, blessed be He. But the crucial part, the heart of everything, was the focus on a specific divine name, Yakdamki. This wasn't just a sequence of letters. No, this was a powerful compound that alternated the letters of Yahweh, the male divine name, with Adonai, a word meaning Lord, but carrying a deep feminine connotation in Kabbalah. This was the linguistic representation of the very act of the divine male and female principle merging. We continue with another exceptional thinker from Hanover, Rabbi Nathan, who lived in the 17th century and turned the understanding of prayer on its head. He didn't just want you to pray to God, but to become one with Him. His book of the Gates of Zion was more than a prayer book. It was a guide to achieving tikkun, perfection, and connecting with the higher worlds. Sounds abstract, right? But Nathan made this understandable for everyone. Nathan taught that you had to prepare your soul, to subjugate every limb to the divine, and to make your whole body a chariot for the Shekhinah, for the divine presence. With intense concentration and pure thought, a person had to utter words that pierce time. Master of the world, behold, I intend to make my entire body a chariot for the Shekhinah, so that I may unite the Holy One, blessed be He, and His Shekhinah, to unite the name Yah with Veh in complete unity, in the name of all Israel. This was not just memorization. This was the highest form of mystical absorption, where the human and the divine become inseparably linked. This practice wasn't just recitation, it used gematria, the ancient mystical art of combining letters and their numerical values. Every letter, every number, a key to a deeper connection. This was a complex, living system that transformed prayer into a dynamic, interactive experience with the cosmos. Not just to talk to the universe, but to become a part of its flow, to become the connection itself. In a later era, in the 18th century, in the heart of the Ottoman Empire, an idea was born. An idea so radical it could overturn notions of faith. Rabbi Eliyahu HaKohen of Smyrna didn't just write a book, he revealed that even the simple act of walking to the synagogue could be an act of mystical unification. This tradition, known as Yichudim, became one Palestinian Kabbalist and traveler's destiny. He was known as the Hiddah, and for him, every part of existence was an opportunity for something more. But it was during Passover, at the Seder, that his obsession reached its climax. Every ritual, every action was not just tradition, but a powerful act of mystical unification. Imagine, before burning the chametz, the Hiddah would say a prayer, not just for purity, but for the removal of the evil spirits that oppose the Shekhinah. Or 4 times during the Seder, before every sip of wine, before every piece of matzah, he insisted, "I am prepared and ready to fulfill this commandment for the sake of the unity of the Holy One, blessed be He, and His Shekhinah." Not just a ritual, but a revolution of intention. But not everyone shared his passion. Rabbi Ezekiel Landau, for example, argued that all these special intentions were unnecessary, that divine perfections happened automatically. But the Hiddah, he was a fierce defender. He rejected this idea with all his soul. For him, there was no comparison between those who performed their actions with proper intention, with the conscious goal of unification, and those who simply followed the prescriptions without thought. And yet, despite this fervent defense, with the arrival of the 19th century, something began to change. Traditional Jewish observance declined, and the very concept of Yichudim began to fade. They were systematically erased from prayer books in enlightened communities, a stark reminder of how deep mystical practices can be lost to time. But their legacy, the radical idea that human actions can heal the divine and bring cosmic redemption, continues to echo. Over the centuries, while scholars debated abstract concepts of God, the vast majority of people lived lives filled with daily struggles and hopes. For them, God had to be more than a distant principle. He had to be accessible. Consider the Catholic layman's relationship with Jesus and the Virgin Mary. Not just deities, but figures with whom you can build a human emotional connection. You feel them close. Now imagine the same thing, but in the context of Jewish tradition. There, a concept known as the Shekhinah, the divine presence, for many became more than an abstraction. It was felt as a separate, tangible being, almost like a partner in life, like someone you could touch, feel their closeness. Here, the extraordinary capacity of the human mind is manifested, the ability to reconcile seemingly contradictory ideas, to accept that God is everywhere and everything, but at the same time, to believe in a concrete, tangible presence that you can summon, feel. This is not a logical contradiction for the believing mind. It is a miracle. But here is where things get truly intriguing. Despite the depth of these experiences, there is almost no direct documentation of how ordinary people perceived the Shekhinah. We don't have diaries, we don't have letters that describe these personal encounters. It's as if this truth was too personal, too intimate to be written down. Or perhaps it was simply too widespread to need an explanation? How then can we understand what was happening in the minds of these people? We have to extrapolate. We have to look for hidden clues in rare records, such as R. Safran's Scroll of Secrets. We have to examine patterned visions, phenomena like the Magid, the mysterious possessions by the Dibbuk. These stories, though extreme, give us a window into the depth of spiritual life, into the readiness for such experiences. And here comes the most important factor, the practice of Yichudim. This widespread spiritual discipline had one primary consequence. It created a susceptibility. It prepared people's minds and souls to be open, to be receptive to visions, to deep personal experiences with the divine. It's as if they were being tuned to hear the whisper of the Shekhinah. If this video made you think, like and subscribe.